Hello, welcome to Uncle J class. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do well and subscribe to my channel so that you can be getting update of our classes. Last time we saw question on multiplication of sum. Today we are going to deal with division of sum. A sum, division of sum has to do with the rationalization of sort. And the sort can only be rationalized when the denominator of that particular fraction is in sort form. You now rationalize it. For example, if you have 3 over root 6, you can actually rationalize the denominator, which is root 6, by multiplying root 6 with the numerator and the denominator, and thereby making the denominator a whole number. Each time you rationalize a sum or you rationalize the denominator, make the denominator a whole number. By rationalizing this denominator, what it means that multiply it by the denominator by root 6 and the denominator by root 6. And when a sort of homogeneous is multiplying itself, the answer become a whole number. That is root 6 multiplying root 6. They are like terms. When like terms are multiplying themselves, it becomes a whole number. So what we now have is 3 root 6 over 6, because root 6 multiplying root 6 will give you 6. So your answer becomes 3 root 6 over 6. You can actually simplify further. By the time you use 3 to divide both the numerator and the denominator, you now have 3 kill itself 1, 3 kill 6, you have 2. So you now have root 6 over 2. This is the final answer of such workings. But we are going to take higher ones. Or let us take another example. Assuming that we are given 5, example 2. This is example 1. Assuming that we are given 5 over root 5. 5 is being divided by root 5. You can actually uh, rationalize it again by multiplying root 5 over root 5. The same formula is applied here, the same method. You now have 5 root 5 over root 5 multiplying root 5. You now have ordinary 5. So at the end, 5, you can simplify further by 5 dividing 5. 1, you now have root 5 as your answer. We are going to take complex one and see how to go about it. Okay, we are going to take anytime they give you a root, they give you division and division of sum, you first of all simplify before you rationalize. Simplify whenever possible before you rationalize. You have root 18 over root 2. Root 18 over root 2. You now think of what are the two factors. You want to simplify 18, two factors of 18, that one of them is a perfect square. That will give you root 9 times root 2, because 9 is a perfect square all over root 2. So you now have 3 root 2 over root 2. At this point, you can rationalize. At this point, you can rationalize by multiplying the denominator with the numerator and the denominator. So what we now have is root 2 over root 2. When you multiply out, root 3 times root 2, you now have you have 3 root 2 times root 2. You now have times root 2 all over 2. Okay? So root 2 is here, root 2 is here. Root 2 times root 2, because they are homogeneous, it becomes a whole number. So this will become 3 times 2 over 2. You can actually simplify further. 2 cancel 2. Your answer becomes 3. So 3 becomes the answer of this type of solving. We are going to take another question. Another question like more complex one. I'm going to take something like this. 5 root 7 times 2 root 3 all over 45 root 45 times root 21. If you are given such thing, such division, just as I told you, before you rationalize first, you first of all find out the, you first of all simplify. So can we simplify here? Root, this will be equals to root 5 root 7 times 2 root 3 all over. We can actually simplify root 45 by finding two factors so that one of them is a perfect square, which will give us 9 and root 5 times, we can simplify 21. 21 can actually give us two factors so that one of them is a perfect square. What are the factors of 21? 3 and 7. And what again? Only 3 and 7. So we now have root 7 times root 3. So when we put it further, we now have 5 root 7 times 2 root 3 all over 3, because root 9 is 3. 3 times root 5 times root 7 times root 3. We can actually cancel it out. Since there's a root, we can cancel root 7, root 2, root 3, root 3. And we are left with 5 times 2 all over 3 root 5. 3 root 5. When you multiply it out, you now have 10 over 3 root 5. So this is, no, this cannot, since the denominator is still a sum, we can solve further. So 10 over 10 over root 10 over 3 root 5. We can rationalize. We can rationalize by multiplying the denominator with the numerator and the denominator. By the time you have 10, 30 root 5 over 9 times 3 times 3, 9. Then root 5 times root 5, 5. So you are left with 30 root 5 over 45. You can simplify further to have 15 can divide 45. Yes. Divide 45, it will give you 33. Divide 30, 2, 2. You have 2 root 5, 2 root 5 over 3. I think this will be the final answer. So when we got here, we cannot leave our answer like this, in division like this. When we have 10 over 3 root 5, from here, this is where the simplification stops. From here, you will rationalize. So that is why we take it to this level. us see another one. Division of salt. Division of salt. We can actually solve on 30 over root 75. 30 over root 75. 30 over root 75. We can simplify before solving. To simplify this with 30 over, what are two factors of 75? That one of them is a perfect square. If there is, yes, it will become root 25 times root 3. So you now have 30 over 5 times root 3, which is the same thing as 30 over 5 root 3. At this point, you can rationalize. When you rationalize, you now have 30 over 5 root 3 times 5 root 3 over 5 root 3. So when you multiply out, what you'll be having is this will give you 5 times 30 times 5 will give you 150. Okay, 150, and this times this, we now have 150 root 3 over 5 times 5, 25. 25 times root 3 times root 3. Root 3 times root 3, it will give you ordinary 3. So what we are going to have now is 150 root 3 divided by 75. You can simplify it further. By the time you 75 3 self 1, key 150 will give you 2. So you now have 2 root 3 as your final answer. Here we did not, that's the final answer. Finally, on this topic, we will take one other question to round it up. Until the next class, division of salt. Division of salt. We have something like this: root 18 times root 20 times root 24 over root 8 times root 30. So you simplify first. 18 is the same thing as 9 and 2, which is 3 root 2, times 20 is 4 and 5, which is 2 root 5. 24 is 4 and 6, which is 2 root 6. All over 8 is 4 and 2. 4 times 2, it will give you root 2 root 2 times 30. Is there two factors of 30 that one of them is a perfect square? No. 5 and 6, 3 and the 10. No. So we'll have it as root 6 times root 5. We can actually multiply out. By the time we multiply out, what we'll be having is 3 times 3 times 2 is 6 times 2 again is 12. 12, then root 12 times root 2 times root 5 times root 6. Let us see whether there's any possible way of dividing. So since we now have 2 root 2 times root 6 times root 5, we can cancel the roots that are homogeneous. We cancel this one, cancel this one, we cancel this one, we cancel this one. We are left with 12 root 2 over 2 root 2. 12 root 2 over 2 root 2. 12 root 2 over 2 root 2. We can simplify further here. You can rationalize or you can even cancel direct. If you cancel direct, you now have 2 here, 6, root 2 to root 2. So you are left with 6 as your answer. Or even if you want to, or even if you want to rationalize here, 12 root 2 over 2 root 2. If you multiply it at 2 root 2 over 2 root 2, 2 root 2 over 2 root 2, this will give you 24 times root 2 times root 2 is 2 over 4 times 2, 4 times 2. Yes, 4 times 2. 2 can cancel itself. Then 4 cancel itself, 1 cancel 24, 6. So your answer is still, see, whichever method you apply here, it will go. Thank you.